All right, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
And before we get started, we like to give our praise, honor, and glory to where it's due to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Hashem,
Bahashem, Yahweh
Yahushua,
Shai,
Hashem,
Bahashem,
Rakwatas,
Bahashem,
Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the word ignorantly and incorrectly calls God, Bahashem in the name, Yahweh Shai, the true name of the only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, who the word ignorantly and incorrectly calls Jesus Christ, Bahashem in the name, Rakwatas, the Holy Spirit. We'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught us this truth, and peace, blessing, love, and salutations to those elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. May the blessing of election fall upon you and your household. To you we say Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
And today, this is the branch of the Kentucky Hebrew Israelite Church coming back to you today with another lesson, another Shabbat lesson, all through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shabbat Shalom Chakwadas. And the title, as you see it, Daniel chapter 2, iron mixed with miry clay. Again, Daniel chapter 2, iron mixed with miry clay. Because as we see it, man, Esau's kingdom, their kingdom is crumbling. Their kingdom is just crumbling apart. And you know, you got the articles we got going into today. We got Turkey wanting to break off. You got just so much going on, man, that there's just so much that Esau's kingdom is just crumbling. Just want to start off with this precept right here. Matthew 12 and verse 26. Let's start at verse 25. Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And this kingdom is divided. Esau is divided against itself. You see that all over the world, man. You got just remember back when France wanted to sell their their submarines to Australia, and then U.S. just came out of nowhere and bullied France and sold their nuclear submarines to Australia. That's division. And then what France had was mad at the U.S. So everybody, they're all divided against each other, man. And what it says that they're going to be brought to desolation. This kingdom cannot continue to stand with all the things that is going on up until this point and continuing. It says verse 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? How is a kingdom going to stand if it's divided against itself? If they are in division, if they can't come to an agreement on stuff. You see that especially here in America, where you got the Democrats, the Republicans. They don't know this. Basically, man, to wrap it all in a nutshell, this world, this kingdom has no idea what to do, and it's all coming together according to the will of Yahweh Shem Yashai. So just handing off to the brother from there.
Yeah. Beautiful points, beautiful precept, bro. If you can leave that precept up on the on the screen, please, so I can see it. Baba Kusha. I believe, if I remember correctly, that deal with France and Australia was for France to provide them diesel powered subs, and then the U.S. snaked them and cut a deal to provide nuclear power subs. But nevertheless, the point is well made, and there is no honor among thieves. Right? There is no honor among thieves, man. You know, if you are a natural born murderer and killer and backstabber of your brother, and you're directing that first and foremost towards your brother beside you, then what are you going to do once you've pretty much accomplished that and gotten that in the bag? You know, well, what you're going to do is you're going to turn it towards your brother that is, you within you. So, he's a natural. This man is a natural born murderer, backstabber, deceiver, all of that. And he's been directing that primarily at his brother, the Israelites, Jacob. And now that he's gotten that all accomplished, he's gotten that underfoot. You know, we're destroyed, defeated, conquered. You know, now that he's gotten that done, what's left to do? Turn that inward. You know, his own brethren that's among his own people. Slakia. But yeah, this man is a natural born murderer. Now it says, like the precept that the brother brought out here in Matthew chapter 12, Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And, you know, I believe, if my memory serves correctly, it's Ezekiel chapter 35, where the Most High just over and over and over and over and over and over and over again just says how he's going to make Mount Seir, which is Esau, Edom, Genesis 36:8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is equals Edom, right? And over and over again, he says he's going to make Mount Seir. He's going to make Idumea. He's going to make Esau, the house of Edom, desolate, most desolate, most desolate, utterly desolate, over and over and over again. See? So these are not just general words that Yahweh Shah Mashak is throwing out here. This is actually a prophecy. Slakia. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself, all right, is brought to desolation. And every city or house, such as the house of Esau Edom, Bayath Shal Adawam, 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 and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. In other words, it's going to fall. That applied to us. What happened after King Solomon died? You know, the nation was split and we fell. Even to the greatest of people, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Okay, that applies to everyone. And if Satan casts out Satan, okay, now you see the capital S there, okay, but is this talking about the spiritual demon Satan? Okay, is the spiritual demon Satan going to literally, you know, clone himself and then cast himself out? No, you probably know it's not talking about that. So what is this talking about? Well, if you're thinking of like the Christians think, or if you believe in that Christian doctrine, so-called Christian doctrine, you're thinking this is talking about maybe in the kingdom of Satan, where, you know, some of the demons are wanting to go off and do their own thing, and some of the demons are, you know, wanting to, you know, there's you know, conflict amongst the demons that are working for Satan or something like that. No, it ain't talking about that either, man. There's perfect order in the spiritual realm, okay? And Satan works for the Most High. Job chapter 1 and Job chapter 2, along with 1 Kings chapter 22, and there's another precept as well that just makes that very obvious. And the other precepts where it says that the angels, which demons are nothing more than angels on the left-hand side, are ministering spirits, and they delight to do the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. Even Satan, if you want to put it that way, even all of them, right? But even Satan does the bidding of the Most High. He just does the bidding of the Most High on the left-hand side, right? So no, there is no division amongst the demonic forces or the angelic forces, whether it be on the left-hand side and certainly not on the right-hand side. Nobody would even say that. But there are those who would say, well, there's division on the left-hand side. There's division amongst the demonic forces. No, man, whether it be angels on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, there is no division. Okay? If you think so, you err not knowing the scriptures. Okay, you're not going to find anything in the scriptures that definitively and clearly says that. You're going to be interpreting it a certain way. But you will find scriptures and passages, I already gave you several, that make it clear that the opposite is true. Is the case. It's true. So no, this is not talking about that. Well, if it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan cloning himself and then casting himself out, if it's not talking about division amongst the demonic forces that are beneath him, which are just left-hand side angels, well, if it didn't talk about that, then what is it talking about? This is talking about, when it says Satan here, it's talking about his physical counterpart here on the face of the earth, which are the Edomites, which is the house of Esau Edom. Okay, they are carrying out the bidding of the spiritual demon Satan here on the earth. Okay, what does the word Satan mean? Satan is a name. It's been given to the chief left-hand side angel, and it is actually Hashatan in the Hebrew, and it means the adversary. The Satan adversary. So he is the adversary. Okay. But however, what did I just make mention of? The physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. So if there's a physical counterpart down here on the earth that's carrying out his bidding, then we also have an adversary here on the earth. Okay. We have a physical adversary here on the earth. And that would be Hashatan as well. And that's why sometimes the Edomites are referred to in the scripture as Hashatan or Satan. Okay. And even if you open up, let's show them real quick, bro, that even the blue letter, even they acknowledge that it could possibly, maybe kind of sort of be talking about a man and not always the spiritual demon Satan, you know? So since people got to follow the words of Esau Edom, we can just get straight to the point down there, the last definition, 1B. Yeah, and you see it says a Satan-like man. So even Esau will tell you that it was not always talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Could be talking about a flesh and blood man. Yeah, and it is indeed talking about a flesh and blood man here. Okay, so if Satan, we go back to and if Satan casts out Satan, that means if those who are down here on the face of the earth carrying out the bidding of the spiritual demon Satan, his physical counterpart, which are the Edomites, which are most often referred to in the scriptures, if they're not called by their name, they're most often referred to as the wicked, not just as wicked ones or as some that are wicked, but the wicked, you know? Okay. But that's who this is talking about, the Edomites, those that are in rulership today, the so-called white man, generally speaking. Okay. Because it's not about skin color, it's about bloodlines. But
right.
we have to say that because that's what people have been accustomed to, these modern labels, this covering cast that's been put on the face of the people that is now being broken through the spirit of Pavi Habashim Shah. They're not white people. Actually, if you want to really give them a color label because of their appearance, they're actually red people. Genesis 25 and 25. They even call themselves rednecks. Okay. And, you know, and if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So this was a prophecy of how the kingdom of Esau Edom, the house of Esau Edom, was going to be brought down and brought to desolation and fall and be and not stand. Okay, this is a prophecy, and that's what we're getting into. We were going to get into this yesterday at camp, but we didn't get to it just because of time. Through Spring Power, how about we're going to get into it today. We got several articles showing you this prophecy, this heavy prophecy in the news, and that we are in those times, and we don't have much time left before the downfall of this wicked kingdom and the establishment of the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be established by Yahweh Shah Mashiach very, very soon, very soon.
That's right.
So with that, bro,
I got a precept for you.
Okay, go ahead and bring that precept up. And then Baba Kushah, go ahead and get right into the article. I'm gonna get on the road. I don't have my headphones, so if the quality of the just let me know if there's any issue with you hearing me and understanding me, bro. Hopefully the sound will be coming up good. But I'm gonna go ahead and get on the road. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, so just like the brother has said, he said that one like Esau, you know, they brought us to desolation, or it's like they brought us down. And then what else could they do after they brought us down? They're gonna go to the next person, which would be who? Their selves, because they're thieves, man. They're wicked, and they don't have no concerns, no thoughts, even for their own brethren, even for their own nation. Because like it says in Obadiah, I'm just gonna read it from off my phone. It says, "If thieves," Obadiah 1:5, "if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?" So when thieves, when thieves rob, they just gonna rob what they want to take or what they need. And you know, if somebody takes some grapes, a grape gatherer, they just gonna get, okay, I just need this many grapes. I don't need all them grapes. But when Esau,
I can't. This is all I can carry.
Right. Yeah, right. This is all I can carry. Yeah, and but when it comes to the wicked, Esau, the one who is in rulership today, they're going to take everything out of your house, even the wallpaper, the foundation. They taking everything, and then when for the grapes, they're going to take the grapes, and then they're going to come back and get some more grapes. They just going to take all the grapes, man. They ain't going to leave no grapes.
Right.
And that's what they're doing right now, man. They trying to take down the America is trying to take down Russia, their own brethren, their own nation, so that they can take over their resources, take over all their abundant resources that they have over there and split it among themselves. And then you don't know how that'll go once they split. Then they're going to find another adversary amongst their own brethren because they ain't got nobody else. So this is John 10:10. The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. That's what the thief has come to do, even if it means stealing and killing and destroying their own nation. And that's really like the brother was saying, there's a division amongst Esau Edom, even if it means their own nation that they're divided against. And that's what they're here to do, to steal and to kill and to destroy, even if it is their own nation. So that's all I wanted to get. That's all I wanted to get. So getting into this article. This from War News.
Can you hear me all right?
Say something else.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Can you? I'm just checking if you can hear me all right.
Yeah. I was making sure. Yeah, I can hear you. It sounded a little low, but I can hear you though. Maybe if I turn up my volume. I can hear you. So this is from War News 24/7. Today is, let me see, May 29th, 2022, the year of Yahweh Shem Shai turning up, the year of the turn up. And the Lord is turning up, man. So this is published May 23rd, 2022. Erdogan's farewell speech. And Erdogan is Turkey's, I believe, president or prime minister, whichever one it is. So it says Erdogan's farewell speech. NATO has not supported us for 40 years. And then Spiegel, it said it is a double agent. Let the alliance break. And look, it says 1445 right here.
Hey, that's heavy talk right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because what has this goddamn devil been telling you up until this point? Hey, the NATO alliance is strong. You know, we're united. We're more united than ever.
Right.
And that was all a lie all along. And of course, if you understand prophecy, you knew that it was a lie. And you don't really even have to understand prophecy to know that's a lie. All you need to do is just be paying attention to the news over any period of time, and you know the world news, the international news, and you know that's a lie. Okay? But that's strong talk, man, that NATO has not supported us for 40 years. What does that mean? They've had grievances which have gone unaddressed for decades. And what happens when you have a grievance that goes unaddressed for a long time? It gets more and more deeply embedded. You get more and more bitter over it, right?
Yep.
It just runs deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when things happen afterwards, you know, it makes the offense greater, because here it is, you already dealing with an offense that happened a decade, 2, 3 decades ago that never got addressed, and here they come in with something new and fresh, and it's like it makes you that much more angry, that much more offended by the stuff that comes out. And then go on and say it's a double agent, referring to the deception, referring to the subtlety. It's great. All right. And it's seeing the news.
You cut out.
All right. What's the last thing you heard? Am I back?
When you said let the alliance break.
Yeah, and then I said go ahead with the article, bro.
Okay, got it. So it says, getting into the article, it says, we had a speech by RT Erdogan a while ago on the occasion of the accession. Let me scoot it up for you. So it says, Erdogan, after summarizing all the problems between NATO and Turkey for the last 40 years, launching harsh accusations against the alliance and Western countries, demanded that his terms be met immediately. If not met, Sweden and Finland will not enter. But fulfilling what Erdogan demands is almost impossible, as laws must be passed by the country's parliaments. NATO must change its policy, and so must the U.S. and Congress change its laws.
Read that again.
Yep. It says, if not Turkey's demands met, Sweden and Finland will not enter. But fulfilling what Erdogan demands is almost impossible. And it's saying to fulfill Erdogan's demands, laws must be passed by the country's parliaments. NATO must change its policy, and so must the U.S. and Congress change its laws.
Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, man. You see, prophecy is being fulfilled, man, and there's no way around it. Okay, there is no way to mend the breaches that exist within the house and the kingdom of Esau Edom. Okay, and you know that for 40 years they've been talking about these issues, and you don't come out. You don't just have this thought that, you know, let me just put it like it is. Fuck NATO. We out of here. You don't just have that thought one day and then the next day go public on the world stage with it.
Right.
Okay. This has been discussed for a while. They've been thinking about this for a long time, man. And they've been talking about it behind closed doors. They've been keeping it kind of hush hush, you know, and then what happens first? You start to see some cracks in the alignment, you know. Right. Well, we not really down with how y'all treat Russia. You know, hey, what's Turkey doing going over there meeting with Putin? All right, they looking like they really friendly over there. So you just start seeing the signs, and then maybe you know, and it's not just Turkey, man. Okay, it's not just in Turkey, but then you'll start to hear him say some things that aren't quite in alignment with other NATO countries in the West, with other NATO countries and the U.S. And then ultimately you get what you got right here, which just comes all out. It's like a coming out party.
Yeah,
it just comes all out and tells you, look, either meet our demands or we don't care anymore.
You're right.
And the alliance, this alliance, what alliance? What alliance? Okay, you know, let the alliance break. All right, and this is in the scriptures, man. And we're gonna show it to you in the book of Daniel. Okay, Daniel chapter 2, when we get to it, you know.
So it says, this is the humiliation of the Western world, and the Turkish.
Bro, go to Obadiah again and get started from the top and just get like the first couple of verses. I think it's the first 3 verses.
All right. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 1.
Yeah, just 1 and 2.
Okay. Obadiah 1 and 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord power, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Right. Okay. Yep. That's going on right now. Okay. It's well underway right now. But what we came for is the second verse.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Ooh, thou art what? Thou art what?
Thou art greatly despised.
Greatly despised. Okay, now go back and read that last sentence in the article you just read, and I think there's a connection.
This is the humiliation of the Western world.
This is the humiliation of the Western world, man. And this is the Lord's doing. This is the Lord's doing. This is the doing of Yahweh Shem Shai, and it is marvelous, man, in our eyes.
That's right.
Okay, as the brothers say, he's the master chess player, man, and he's controlling everything. Yep. Everything is happening according to the script. Church.
Yep, that's right. So it says, and the Turkish president himself knows this. It is now clear that if Erdogan wins the 2023 elections, he has left NATO. Until then, he will exploit tolerance and sabotage the alliance from within.
Man, he gonna sabotage. That's already happening.
Yep.
Okay, in the alliance. Okay, in the alliance, it's already happening, man. There's sabotage.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and within the kingdom, and because you got the kingdom, which goes beyond just the beast with the 10 horns and the whore that rides upon the beast. That's the heart of the kingdom. Okay, the center of the kingdom, but the kingdom also extends beyond that. And in the kingdom, on the periphery of the kingdom, there is division and sabotage as well.
Mm-hmm.
What did the beast? What did the U.S. led NATO want to do? What did the U.S. want? What did the U.S. want the United Nations to do? To sanction North Korea.
Yep.
Over all these missile tests that they're doing.
Yep.
And who showed up on the scene with veto power? Russia and China.
Yep.
Veto. No. We ain't having that. Hey, Kim Jong-un is our friend.
Yep. Yeah.
No, we ain't no veto. No veto for you. Go home.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, bro, go ahead.
So it says, in fact, even Der Spiegel went so far as to describe Erdogan as a double agent, asking NATO to come to an immediate rift with Turkey. It says,
read that one more time, Babu Shah.
In fact, even Der Spiegel went so far as to describe Erdogan as a double agent, asking NATO to come to an immediate rift with Turkey.
Mm. Oh, so he calling Erdogan a double agent.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Hey, bro, that's a double agent calling another double agent a double agent.
Right.
As they say, the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah, right. It says, Erdogan says, sanctions against us should be lifted. Erdogan said, while the vital role we play in NATO and other international organizations of which we are a member is obvious, we continue to discuss with some of our allies the lifting of sanctions. We cannot ignore the sanctions against us, especially from Sweden at the moment. There is no logical explanation for them.
Yeah, so, how you gonna be allies and you slap? See where they get all this from, man. That comes from America, man. He who is, and this is the precept I thought you was gonna get earlier, but the precepts you got were your pa. But yeah, he who is evil to himself, he who is cruel to himself, to whom will he be good?
Yep.
Okay. And this goddamn devil is cruel to himself. He's cruel to his allies, and he's cruel and evil to his own self.
That's right. So I was just going through this, and this one says we have not received support for 40 years. Turkey has not received the support it expected from its allies, neither in meeting its defense needs, nor in its legitimate cross-border operations, nor in its 40-year fight against terrorism. In addition to support and contribution, our country has often been exposed to tactic and open sanctions, embargoes, threats, pressure, and blackmail. So they just piling on what's been happening.
Yep. And that's because this is the way Esau Edom gets down. Those are his. Hey, what's it say? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty and powerful through the to this through the Spirit for the tearing down of strongholds, man.
Yep.
Right? But Esau, Edom, he's all about the carnality, man.
Right.
Wickedness, blackmail, all those things that Erdogan just mentioned. Those are all part and parcel, standard operating procedure, part of course, whatever else you want to say for Esau Edom, man. That's just how he rolls.
Yep.
Okay. If he ain't doing those things, he ain't rolling.
That's right. That's it. So I think that was about it for that article.
Let's get the let's get a precept that's on the smaller side,
Okay.
one of our smaller ones, and then get the other article about them attacking Syria, and then we'll get that Daniel chapter 2.
Okay. You want to get Revelation 17? 1
Right,
through 5?
we got a lot there, right? I'm actually thinking most likely through the Spirit that's going to be tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We already half hour in. So what else we got?
Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 17 and 20.
Let's get to Ezekiel 38, bro.
Okay. So this is Ezekiel 38 and verse 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Because
Gog, the land of Magog. Okay, obviously the Heavenly Father isn't concerned about the literal land itself, but he's saying that because it's the people who are occupying that land, which today they're not the original people who occupied the land of Gog and Magog. The original people who occupied the land of Gog and Magog are Japhetic people. It's a Japhetic nation. But that nation was taken down and conquered by the Edomites, and the Edomites do what the Edomites do. And the scripture tells you that he oppresses a man, even a man and his heritage. So they've done this to many nations, many peoples, chief and foremost, most of all amongst all the nations, they've done it to the Israelites, us, okay, which is the greatest offense of all, okay, by far, but they've done it to other nations as well. And so the people over in the land of Gog and Magog right now are actually Edomites. They're not the original people. So, but that's who it's talking about, the modern day Russians. Yep. Gog and Magog is the land of modern day Russia, and that's who it's talking about, the modern day Russians, which are Edomites.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
And it says, and prophesy against him. So the Lord is going to use the Russians to help bring down America. But at the same time, he's not for you. He's not going to, okay, yeah, you did my bidding, but so I'm
good little wicked Edomites. Y'all good ones.
yeah, y'all good ones. I'm gonna spare y'all. No, man, the Lord is just using the Russians, Gog, to fulfill prophecy. That don't mean the Lord isn't still going to destroy them or put them in slavery. So verse 3, it says, "And say, thus said the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords."
Yeah. That, like the brother said, it's coalition of nations. Okay, we got it. We got it in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. It's only one chapter, but Obadiah verse 1 as well, man. This coalition of nations. Yep. Okay, all right, are going to come up against America, Babylon the Great, and Russia is going to be the top dog, the big dog. Okay, head, the big nation, because without Russia, America would probably go up against all the others by themselves. If it was just all the others without Russia, America would probably go up against all of them by itself and take them down. But not with Russia there.
Right. So it says again, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Representing modern weapons of warfare, modern weapons, and just equipment in general, including defensive systems. Okay. All right. Modern instruments of war.
That's right. Ezekiel 38:5. Persia, Ethiopia.
Persia is Iran. You know, Ethiopia, you should know what that is. Go ahead. But Persia is Iran, modern day Iran. And so it's prophetic that Iran is very close and tight, buddy with Gog and Magog.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet.
Did it mention Gomer yet?
It's about to.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 6, Gomer and all his bands.
That's Turkey.
Yep.
That's Turkey, man. See, this is all prophecy, man.
That's right. The house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee.
Yeah, man. A coalition of nations.
Yep. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thine company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Yeah. Protect them from the big bad bully, and enable them to go up against the bully and prevail.
Yep.
See that? Now, bro, let's leave off from that there. There is more. We can keep going, but we want to get to Daniel 2. We want to have time for that. Yep. So let's just take a quick pit stop to that Isaiah 46. The same passage we got yesterday at camp. I think it's like 9, 10, and 11 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that real quick, and then we'll get back into the article, Bubba. Sure.
Con. So this is Isaiah 46 and verse 9. It says, remember the former things of old. It's like, I get that. I started verse 8. Isaiah 46 and 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old. For I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand.
My counsel shall stand. Go ahead, Al.
And I will do all my pleasure.
Most High is going to do all his pleasure. See, he's controlling all this, man.
That's right.
Okay? This is all going according to the script. Church. All right, the script. Everything's written in the script, man.
Yep.
Church.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
Con. So get into the next article, published also from War News 24/7, and also you got to translate it from, it's in Greek originally, you got to translate it from Greek to English. So this was published May 26, 2022. It says Erdogan breaks you. This was 3 days after his farewell speech. 3 days after his farewell speech. And it says Erdogan breaks U.S. deal on Syria. Turkey at war with West and NATO hostage until SDF disband.
Yeah, so it's not saying Turkey's at war with the West and NATO. It says Turkey at war while or also the West and the NATO are hostage until the SDF is disbanded, because this is translated from the Greek, right? So things can get a little bit, not clear when you translate.
So there should be a little comma right here or something. Turkey at war with West and NATO hostage until SDF disband.
Right.
So it says PT, I guess, I don't know, I guess the president or something, however they say it over there. PT Erdogan also officially gave the green light for a new Turkish military operation in Syria, an operation that is finally ending Turkey in the consciousness of the West and could lead to uncontrollable consequences inside and outside NATO.
And could lead to what type of consequences?
It says uncontrollable consequences.
See, man, we in that time. It's no more. Hey, man, everything is being manifest.
That's right.
Okay? Like it says, I'm just going to paraphrase it for the sake of time. Like it says in 2nd Esdras 9, like around the 7th, 8th, 9th verse, you know, the time that it has beginning with everything has a beginning, and then the end is manifest. And when the end is manifest, it's manifest with signs and wonders, man. Paraphrasing. Okay, the end is manifest. 1 Peter 4 and 7. Okay, the end of all things is at hand. Revelation 1 and 3. For the time is at hand.
That's right.
Okay, the end of time of the fulfillment of these prophecies, man. The end of all things is at hand.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that the world's going to blow up and all existence is going to cease. No, it's not talking about that. The end of everything pertaining to this kingdom, the end of everything pertaining to this age is at hand. Okay.
Yep.
And then the new one, the next one begins, which is going to be a world. That's where it's written in the English, but it's actually the Greek word aeon, okay, which means a period, okay, a kingdom without end. And it says, referring to Yahweh Shai Mashiach and of his kingdom, there shall be no end. Okay, world without end. Talking about the world, the aeon, the period, the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom in which the Israelites are going to be set up in rulership for forever, for all eternity. That's why it says without end. You got it back.
So it says, first, Erdogan broke the agreement with the Americans. In October 2019, it was agreed that Turkey would refrain from any offensive operation in, I believe, Syria, I guess northeast Syria. He was then allowed to invade on the condition that it would be the last time. Turkey has also terminated this agreement, something that is not going to go down in Congress and in the United States in general. Moreover, Turkey is not going to do a simple operation. As War News 24/7 reported this morning, the operation seems to be breaking into two phases. Phase A includes ground and air operations in Tel Rifat and Manbij, and Phase 2 includes operations in Company and in Ain Issa. It says, the Turks say that with the clearing of all four areas, the whole area from the Ruzain to Afrin will be free of terrorism. And it says, the aim is to move there the millions of Syrian refugees.
Okay, hey, I'm sorry, bro. Salaki, you hear me?
Can
you hear me, bro?
All
right, yeah. Read that the last two couple of sentences. Read.
So it says, Turkey is not going to do a simple operation. As War News 24/7 reported this morning, the operation seems to be breaking into two phases. Phase A includes a ground and air operation in two places in Syria, and Phase 2 includes operations in Ain el Arab and Ain Issa. The Turks say that with the clearing of all four areas, the whole area from Ruzain to Afrin will be free of terrorism.
Will be free of terrorism. Okay.
Free of terrorism.
Can you hear me all right, bro? Okay. So that's their cover story, is that it's going to be, they're freeing actually it's not a cover story. Just keep going. It's going to be made manifest. It's going to be clear that it's not, that it's more than a cover story in a brief moment. So keep going, bro.
It says the aim is to move there the millions of Syrian refugees he has in his country by permanently changing the demographic composition of the region and creating an instance of a state under his control. It says, will Erdogan stop there? No. This business.
Go ahead, bro.
This business.
I love this. Hey, man. the Most High, this is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes, man. It's marvelous, man, because the Most High, that's why the Greek word for God is the Greek word for God is theos, from which we get the word theater, because this is all the Most High's movie. And in the Most High's movie, everything is going according to the scriptures. And the Most High loves drama.
That's right.
So read that again, bro. Will this be will Erdogan stop here? Whatever, read that again.
Will Erdogan stop there with the two phases? No.
No. Man, come on, man. All right, man. Yeah. There ain't no movie that even can compare to the movie that's playing out on the surface of the earth.
Nope.
Okay? So many plot twists, so many betrayals, you know, surprises. I mean, everything that makes a movie good, man, you know, the Most High's movie is chock-a-block full of it.
Yep.
Okay?
That's right.
Go ahead. Tension so thick, you can't even cut it with a knife.
Right. Right. It says, this business will not be final either. On the contrary, another will follow in the future. Its purpose is to trap the Kurdish SDF forces in Raqqa and destroy them. The goal is for the U.S. to no longer have a proxy army.
Ooh, they did not just mention the U.S. by name, did they?
Yep.
The goal is for what?
The goal is for the U.S. to no longer have a proxy army in the wider region.
Oh man, I don't think they're gonna mend this rift. I could be wrong.
Right.
Read that again.
It says the goal is for the U.S. to no longer have a proxy army in the wider region.
Our goal is to get this U.S. proxy army the hell out of here.
Yep. That's right.
What are we really saying without coming? We're saying a lot. We're saying a lot outright specific. We're not mincing words. We're saying a lot clear. Let me be clear. Like the Edomites over here like to say all the time. Let me be clear.
Yep.
Erdogan is being clear that he don't give a damn about you know, the NATO alliance, because he's got concerns and they need to be addressed.
Yeah.
All right. Let me be clear. But what he's saying here with this action, without actually specifically saying this yet, is we're fighting against America.
Yep.
If you're going against America's proxy army and your goal is to get them the hell out of the area, then you're fighting against America.
Yep.
Your ally that you're in alliance with.
Mm-hmm.
There is no honor among thieves, and there's division, major, catastrophic, irreparable division in the house of Esau Edom.
That's right. So it says, finally, Erdogan clarified yesterday that he will not lift a veto for Sweden and Finland to join NATO.
Not going to do it. Not lifting it.
That's right. If they do not meet his demands, which we read in the last article, that's almost impossible.
Right. It is impossible.
That's right. Turkey yesterday handed over to Sweden and Finland a list of demands for the PKK and the Gulenists in exchange for NATO membership. In fact, Turkey foreign minister said that the list has specific demands and the two countries will discuss it. We expect them to make legal changes if necessary. It says, let's see if there's any more. So just like when Russia gave, NATO and the West demands to for Ukraine, they made demands. Okay, we got these demands we want, and if not, we're going to do this A, B, and C. And what did America and the NATO said? We're not making no changes. We're not listening to those demands. So this is what it's sounding like going to happen with this one. Turkey's giving demands, And NATO's like, we're not hearing the demands. You can keep those demands. And then Turkey's like, well, we're not letting Sweden and Finland join NATO. Because, Turkey also has a say. They said unless Turkey agrees to allow Sweden and Finland and Sweden can't join unless every member of NATO, agrees to it. And that's conflict. It says a new invasion of Syria was actually announced a while ago. A statement from the National Security Council said the current and future military operations on Turkey's southern border are not aimed at the territorial integrity of its neighbors, but are based on national security needs and will contribute to their security. So, and it says Turkey has begun sending troops to Syria. According to the Syrian sources, military phalanxes crossed the border and entered Syrian territory in the area of El Salameh. These are mainly army trucks with Turkish soldiers, weapons, and ammunition. Later, a second military phalanx was located in the city of Azaz, where Turkish troops were deployed. It should be noted that Russia has withdrawn many forces from Syria due to the war in Ukraine, land and air. Therefore, Ankara has a window of opportunity for a lot of arbitrariness. So, Turkey's has started sending forces, and this was 3 days ago. So, ain't no telling where they at now. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to the Daniel chapter 2, bro.
Yep. And I'll just play this little clip of 20-second clip, I believe, of the Turkish army troops, going through Syria. So they getting ready, and then here's a map, I believe, of where they're at. I think so. I don't know. I have to see what all that means. So it says the Syrian city of Azaz, in essence, opens the doors to attack Aleppo. So basically, things are getting ready. Things are not slowing down. Things are not being stagnant, but things are intensifying in the world. Things are increasing and things are ramping up in this world, man. So getting into Daniel 2, verse 31. Thou, O king, sawest and behold a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass.
Yeah, and you don't even really need. Well, this is partly, Daniel understood this vision because it was given to him. The dream and the interpretation was given to him, but he didn't have all the detail. Okay, but some of the detail he gives, in the breakdown that's coming up. Yep. So it kind of starts you off, as far as understanding what this is talking about. But let's keep going, bro.
I'm gonna move over to the next, like that, so we can see it. So Daniel 2 and verse 32 again. The image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest.
Okay, I'm sorry, bro. I read the verse 32 again. I thought I heard you say it a little different than it's worded. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It says, this image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then, verse 35, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Right, and we're gonna dig into this verse a little bit. Go ahead and read that verse again, Baba Kushah.
Daniel 2:35. Then was the iron, the clay, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became
right.
like
Right. That's all the major kingdoms that were before, and we're gonna get into those. Go ahead.
And became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors.
Right. Basically, they were broken. They were beaten to powder. Okay. They were beaten to powder. They were broken and beaten to powder, and became like the chaff. Read that part, Shaw.
And became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors.
Keep going.
And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone
that's because this represents the kingdom of the kingdoms of the heathen, and those kingdoms of the heathen are going to be broken to pieces and into powder and then blown away. No place found for them. They're never going to rise again. There's never going to be another kingdom of the heathen ever again.
Right.
All right. Now, and they're not going to find some little nook, some little cranny somewhere where they can kind of have a small little kingdom and just keep to themselves, while the Israelites have the biggest portion of the kingdom. No, there's no place found for them.
That's right.
Ever again. This is it.
Yep. It says, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Right. The stone that smote the image is Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. And became a great mountain representing the kingdom of heaven. Okay. All right. The kingdom of heaven. And filled the whole earth. Okay. Yep. And ultimately, it's going to really fill all creation. It starts with the earth, though.
That's right.
Okay. Let's keep going, bro.
Daniel 2 and verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the Most High of heaven.
Notice that's lowercase k, lowercase k. It's not capital K, that's Yahushua HaMashiach.
Yep. Right. Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the Most High.
Yeah, right. It's like it. Just again, drawing that distinction. Thou art. It's two distinctions here. Thou art a. Okay, not the. Thou art a. Distinction number one, and then distinction number two is you got lowercase k's, not capital K's.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
For the Most High of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength and glory.
Right. Let's stop there and get Daniel 4:17 right quick first.
Daniel 4 and verse 17, and it reads, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know.
Yeah, the spiritually living. Because those that are spiritually dead, they ain't going to know it. How can they know it when they're spiritually dead? Yeah, they walking around eating, sleeping, and all that, but they're dead, spiritually speaking. So they ain't going to notice. But those that are spiritually alive, that are quickened through Yahushua HaMashiach, a quickening spirit, the second Adam is a quickening spirit. Well, this is for them to know. Go ahead.
To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will.
Right, giveth it to whomsoever he will. So he's the one that set up King, I believe that's King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yep.
Okay. But the focus here is on the last part. Go ahead, set it up over it, and give it to whomsoever he will. And what?
And set it up over the basest of men.
That's the condition we're in right now. The base is the most deplorable, despicable, um, inferior. I need some more bad words. I need some more. I need some real good insulting. The worst word you come up with. That's the man that's in rulership right now. The most inferior, the most. I'm really, you get the idea, right? It's not just what you say; it's also what you don't say.
Yep.
Bro, gonna get some synonyms. That what you about to do? Yep. Are you looking at the word base? Go ahead and bring out the definition. See if it's good.
It says without moral principles, and it says
it goes much deeper than that, man. But yeah. that's true too. But this, when it says the basis of man, that's a deep concept there.
Yep.
He's the most deplorable, despicable, inferior, substandard man by a lot.
Yep. That's right. So back into that Daniel.
Right.
Daniel 2 and verse 36. And it reads, that's like in verse 37, it says, Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For the Most High of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory. Verse 38. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
Which is the Babylonian, the Babylonian Empire, the ancient Babylonian Empire. You can also refer to it as the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. That's the head of gold.
Mm-hmm. Verse 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass.
Right. Right. Because each of them are getting worse and worse and worse. It starts off with the best of these heathen kingdoms. Okay. So compared to the other heathen kingdoms, this was the top heathen kingdom. Okay. And then the one that comes after it, well, that's still it's still, quality. It's silver, but it's silver, and you should know silver is inferior to gold. Silver is less valuable than gold. Yes, it's a precious metal, but it's less valuable than gold. Okay. And that's the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay. And then it says, and another third kingdom of brass, which is inferior to silver. So you got the gold, then you step down to the silver, and then you step down again to the brass.
Mm-hmm.
And that is talking about the empire of the Greeks, which that empire was the first time that the Edomites were in power on the world stage.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you in the book of First Maccabees, because it starts off with the lineage. Philip of Macedonia. You had Alexander of Crete, or Alexander the Great, who was the son of Philip of Macedonia, and that lineage can be traced all the way back to Esau, Edom. Yep. So that those were the Edomites. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that they were not the original Greeks. Just like we already established a little earlier, the Edomites oppress a man, even a man and his heritage. Mm-hmm. So they took down the original Greeks, and then they took on that heritage, and they continued as the Greeks, although they were not the Greeks. So as the Greeks, masquerading as the Greeks, the Edomites were in power for the first time, and it tells you in First Maccabees that evils were multiplied upon the face of the earth. Why? Because the wicked were in authority. Malachi
Yep.
chapter 1, verse 1 down to verse 4.
Yep.
All right. So the what's that? The torso and all that of brass, the hips of brass and stuff, whatever. I think that torso of brass. That's the Greek ancient Greek Empire, which was
Mm-hmm.
actually Edomites.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Con. It said, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. Verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Verse 41.
Right. And that's
Mhm.
the ancient Roman Empire, okay, which is now today revived. We're living in the revived Roman Empire, okay? All right. The beast that had the deadly wound that was healed, that one of its heads was wounded as it were to death. That head that was wounded is referring to the ancient Roman Empire that is wounded under down. At least it went down out of power, and they went down, and then it was revived because it was healed because that ancient Roman Empire that fell is now back on the world stage again today, with
Yep.
America, Babylon the Great being the capital city, Rome 2.0. The capital city, Rome 2.0 in the revived Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's the iron, the kingdom
Yep.
of iron. Go ahead up.
Verse 41. Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Right. That iron represents the military might, the strength, the teeth of the kingdom of Esau Edom, that military might.
Mm-hmm.
So read that again one more time, bro, that verse.
Daniel 2 and verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
You keep going, bro.
Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
Let's get that word from mingle, Baba Kusha.
This is the word mingle. And it says to mix, to join together, to
Yeah, so to mix to join together, but it has a root word. So let's get the root word that's going to bring the meaning out a little bit better.
root word for mingle. It says to pledge, exchange, mortgage,
Yeah.
engage, occupy, undertake, for, give pledges,
Give pledges, to pledge, give pledges. Go ahead.
uh, be or become surety,
Yeah,
take on,
you do this for us, and then we're going to do this for you. Go ahead.
yeah, take on pledge,
Uh-huh.
give in pledge,
Yeah, now you already got the idea. Let's just drop down to 1B.
come,
Read that.
to exchange pledges,
Woo. To have fellowship with,
yeah, to have
share.
fellowship with, share.
Okay. So now we know what that mingle's talking about, man. And this ties
Mm-hmm.
directly into Psalms 83, bro. Let's bring up Psalms 83, and we're just gonna touch on that real quick. Just start it from the top.
Psalm 83 and verse 1, a song or psalm. It's like a song or psalm of Asaph, Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Salakia. Salakia. I mean, you still there, bro?
Come.
All right, yeah. Back that up. Read that verse again.
Psalm 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
Mm-hmm.
They are confederate against thee.
They are what? They are what?
They are confederate.
Confederate. Go ahead.
Against thee.
Let's get that word for confederate, Baba Kusha.
The word confederate. And it says alliance, pledge.
Oh, a covenant, alliance, what?
Pledge.
Pledge. I could be mistaken, but isn't that like one of the main central words that was defining what it means to be mingled together?
Yep.
That's it, bro. That's what we came for. We can go back to Daniel 2. You're ready to wrap it up.
Daniel 2 and verse 42 again. It says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with
So they're gonna mingle themselves with the seed of men. Okay, mingle themselves with the seed of men. Make these pledges and these alliances, these covenants, be confederate with. Okay, the seed of men, right? So this is the kingdom of Esau, Edom, but instead of just completely oppressing and giving the heathen nations no power whatsoever, he makes some pledges and and he becomes confederate. He lets them have a little slice of the pie, as long as he got the lion's share, the biggest chunk. And if need be, he's got the upper edge. If something ever happened, he could turn on them and put them down.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what he didn't count on is he didn't count on all of them turning against him at the same time. And then neither did he count on division being in his house. And then that division causing a power that's comparable to his own to then go and partner up with all these others. Right. He didn't count on that. Nope. He didn't see that coming. Right? Nope. So that's what this is all getting into, because the seed of the men is these other heathen nations. Because you got three classifications. You got the seed of the righteous seed. You got the wicked seed, which is Esau, Edom, the Edomites, and then you got the seed of men, which are all the other heathen nations. And so they mingled, they become confederate. They made pledges and alliances with, the other heathen nations, man.
Yep.
Okay. But read the second part of that verse again, Baba Kusha.
It says, but they shall not cleave one to another.
No. Go ahead.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Yeah, man. You ain't gonna get yourself some molten iron and throw in some clay, and get that to really mix and mingle. I mean, it ain't gonna happen, man. Especially if you got iron and you got an iron block and a clay block and you just want to,
mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna blend together, man. You can mix iron with other metals and make alloys, and a lot of times those alloys will be even more powerful and useful than the iron. But you ain't mixing it with clay, man.
Right.
Okay? Let's keep going, bro, because we about to wrap it up.
Yep, Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Which is the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. The kingdom of heaven, right? And so you see this, man, because what does it say? Bring 43 back up on the Baba Kusha. Yeah, they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Even the iron is breaking up. Even the iron isn't cleaving to itself. It's like there's a fracture in the iron, man. There's a fracture at a cellular level. Okay, even within the beast itself. NATO is part of the beast. Actually, NATO is the beast. Turkey is part of the beast.
Yep.
And here it is. Turkey is going off track. And then you got this other dude, Spiegel, whatever his name is. He's like, look, let NATO fracture, let the alliance fail. See?
Yep.
So it even goes beyond just the iron not mixing with the clay, the miry clay. You know? Go ahead.
Again, 44 again. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Right.
Verse 45.
That's quick pit stop, bro. You know we're getting ready to wrap it up, but let's get to Revelation 2:26 and 27 on that one, because it says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms.
Revelation 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received my Father.
Yeah, and that lines up perfectly with the second Psalm as well. Okay, and other precepts, a lot of other precepts.
That's right.
Yeah, but let's wrap that Daniel chapter 2 up, Baba Kushan.
Daniel 2:45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it would break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain.
The dream is what?
And the dream is certain.
Certain.
And the interpretation thereof sure.
Sure. Yeah, man. There is no change in this. There's a reason why back in the ancient days, when the king made a decree, it could not be changed, man.
Nope.
That was it. Once the king spoke, that was it. Even if later on it turned out that the king, wanted to change his mind, or he regretted it, it was already spoken. It already went out of his mouth.
Yep.
And it was spoken.
That's right.
And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof. And that word understanding is better. Okay? That word understanding is better, because interpretation, well, that's your interpretation. Daniel, that's your interpretation. Ain't my interpretation, Daniel. That word interpretation gives people kind of the impression that they can just interpret it however they want to. No. A better word is understanding, and the understanding thereof. Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So that's it. We're gonna get into another article and get into Revelation, the 17th chapter, that links right up with this. It all blends in with one. It's one lesson, but for the sake of time, we're gonna wrap it up here and get into that tomorrow for the new moon lesson. Through the spirit power, how about Shema Shah? And you can see there. Is that the article right there you had up?
Nah.
Okay.
That's the one we went over.
Oh, that's the one we just went into, right? Yeah, we got another article that ties into the same type of, ties right along with this.
This one.
Yeah, there you go. Bocelli nailed Erdogan's plan, leaving NATO and joining the Asia and the Middle East Security Organization. Okay, so and then we're gonna bring in Revelation, the 17th chapter, the bulk of that chapter. Now, since it's gonna be its own lesson, we might do the whole chapter. Okay, through the spirit power, how about Shemel Shah? All right. So unless you got anything else, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up there.
No, that was it.
All right. All right. So Yahweh Azad, this has been edifying. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. Before we do, we want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and respect to the brothers teaching, pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth. Adwan Radazad, this lesson was edifying and encouraging to you, Akim, and any Akwaf that may be listening and or watching. Ayashma Yakwana Azanyam La Shemai Shemai. Let him who has ears to hear. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Inshallah.
Baba Kusha Abide Babal Aitha. Wakar Adawam.
Kadawam.
Salam lahabakarim. Shabbat shalom. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shalom.